Hello, and today we'll be playing the latest update of Raincheck. So, as you can see here, there's a new menu screen. There's also a new entrance music. So it shows Theodore and Javier here. We're on the Javier route. So this update will feature one of the many endings for Javier. So go ahead and start now. It's me, Lawrence. Lawrence? What the hell is he doing here? Out of everyone, he's definitely the last person I would have imagined to visit. I would check the spy hole, this time spotting Lawrence's distinct certain frame. The one and only. Now, if you don't mind opening the door, it's a bit stale here. I opened the door just enough to get a good look at the wolf. Lawrence, what are you doing here? How did you even find me? There's obvious sark in my voice, which Lawrence picks up only dismisses with a wave of his paw. Don't worry about small details like that. I came looking for you because I'm worried about you. I'm now slowly trying to figure out Lawrence's intent for being here. Worried? What do you mean? How are you feeling, Theodore? Okay. I stare at the wolf scrupulously before he shakes his head in sighs. I don't know what you've heard about me from the others, but I'm genuinely worried about you. Working at ARC is a never-ending task, and I've been busy up until now. Visiting you was my first priority. I was wondering if you wanted to have a small chat. Right. Pressing matters. What the heck he's talking about? My mind races, awkwardly trying to think of a particular reason Lawrence would be here, but coming up short. May he tell the truth, I should give him the benefit of the doubt. He was the one to save Ro after all. Guess not, judging by your face. I take it you don't mind me. I take you don't want me around. I'll be taking my leave. Wait, Lawrence. Come in, I'm sorry. Day's been really messed up. You don't need to explain. You must be going through a lot, trying to search down the snow leopard and all. Yeah, it's been a mess. I let the wolf in. He strolled straight to the window before seating himself down. He motions to the sky, shaking his head disappointingly. How are you holding up? I'm sure you're exhausted. I let out a sigh, unsure of how to explain myself best. I am. I don't blame you. You've had a long day. I heard what happened from Javier. The two of you had some sort of dispute. Yeah. You told me you wanted to figure out what happened to Will, track down who was responsible for the shooting. Am I correct? Yeah. You know? I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can figure it out on my own. I thought I could, but I was just being stupid. Elaborate. The snow leopard, I was trying to track them down. It just doesn't make any sense. And who was driving that car? How could they just blindly fire at us like that? Was this all just a coincidence? Ah, yes, that night. I'm now trying my best to repress the memory as best I can. I understand it must have been an extremely traumatic experience. It's best you forget all about it. And that's also why I'm here. What do you mean? Theodore. His tone is serious but firm as he stares directly at me. Do you want to go home? I tilt my head, failing to understand his sudden question. What do you mean? What I mean is, I'll handle everything else from here. There's no need to put yourself at risk. Meaning, I understand your dilemma. Why don't I help you? I'll find the suitor responsible to wrap up this case once and for all. I furrowed my brows in confusion and sense of skepticism, growing as I remember it was Lawrence who told Javier to switch tasks. But I thought you guys were trying to track down the survivor. Didn't you tell Javier to focus on doing that? That's the reason why he was so dead set on finding the survivor, right? Initially, we had no leads on the survivor's whereabouts. But yes, you are correct. Once they were tracked down, I was assigned the task of locating them to Javier. It was my idea to swap tasks with the fox since it would be more convenient for all of us. Oh, that's weird. Did Javier mention this earlier? You're though, how old are you? 20, 21? Huh? I'm 23, why? You're in your prime. You should enjoy it, and not be stuck with these bureaucratic and esoteric investigations. Well, I wish to have your free time again. Listen, Theodore, the reason I inquire is due to a protest scheduled for tomorrow. It will obstruct major sections of the city, including the airport. It'll be virtually impossible for you to go home in your current situation. Wait, what? Protest? What are they protesting, and who? Is this related to the elections that are happening? Did something happen? And so, yes, the very same one with Castleton. I'm sure you've heard or seen some form of his influence since you arrived. The general public isn't very content with the fact that he's trying to run again. But those are the same people that fail to realize Castleton's been the main driving force in creating revenue for this city. It's quite ironic, wouldn't you agree? Yeah, I guess. But then can't I just take the next flight after that? He leans in closer and stands out his phone to me. You would think so, but rather than explaining, why don't you see for yourself? According to insider information, I received there will be a boycott at the airport for a week starting tomorrow morning. He passes his phone to me, and I study the screen carefully. It's a group chat that appears to include government officials all discussing the upcoming boycott. Tomorrow at 7, we'll start the process at the government sectors, and then we'll all do a walkout. We'll storm the downtown core later in the afternoon and make our way to the city hall. There's more discussions that I scrolled past, and that's when I realized just how long the chat history is. Well, they've been playing this for months now. The chat history is so long. How'd you manage to get added to this group chat? Connections, Theodore, connections. It's not just the airport, mind you. Dozens of government-funded sectors will be participating with the widespread protests and boycotts due to Castleton. Missing a flight is fine, but a whole week? Why would I even stay? Oh, what should I do then? If you want to go home, I can book you for the last flight tonight, right before the city implodes on itself. My eyes suddenly widen at Lawrence's generous offer. Is this even the same wolf from earlier this week? What's the catch? There's no catch. We've only met for a short time, but I consider it an act of goodwill. Thank you. I don't know what to say. My mind suddenly goes back to Will, and I feel my sweats tighten. What a long face. What's wrong? You don't look too happy about my offer. Oh, it's not that. If that's not it, then if I had to take a guess, it's related to Roe. Am I correct? Yeah. If I leave tonight, then I won't be able to say goodbye to him. But of course that is true. He did save your life. I suppose it's only normal for you to feel this way. It's okay, I guess, since I already said my goodbyes to him earlier, but still. Are you sure there's no other way? He doesn't say anything, instead looking out at the window towards the blackened night sky. Lawrence? Terrible weather we've been having, wouldn't you agree? Huh, I guess so. It's a shame but that's how things go. Weather can be so unpredictable. Such is the nature of a chaotic system. He waits for me to respond, but I just stare back, not sure what to say. Are you familiar with chaos theory? Chaos theory. And I think I've heard about it in passing, but I probably need a refresher why. Chaos theory studies systems that appear random but follow precise rules. These systems are extremely sensitive to initial conditions, often referred to as the butterfly effect. Small changes in the starting point can lead to vastly different outcomes. Despite seeming unpredictable, their behavior is determined by these initial conditions, making long-term predictions difficult. Just like the weather. Right, I think I get it, but why bring this up? I believe every decision we make has an impact regardless of how big or small it may appear. All the decisions we've made have led us up to this point. Right now, tensions are high in the city. You feel it too, don't you? The weather, the riots, the civil unrest, the gangs. Something catastrophic is about to happen, and I'd rather not have you caught in the middle of it. One wrong move, and, well, who knows? He swells and chuckles before we compose himself. That's the point I'm trying to make. You need to leave as soon as possible. I'm sure you don't need me to tell you this, but it's dangerous here, Theodore. There's that word again, dangerous. Ever since I've gotten involved, I heard that word being thrown at me left and right. Maybe it's finally time I listen. I know. Yeah, I understand you're right. Glad you hear reason. Honestly, I feel sorry for all the other convincing goers that are here. They won't know the hell that's about to happen. So, what exactly is going to happen? Why is it going to be catastrophic? Take my word for it, Theodore. Given the circumstances, this is more than just a hunch. Lawrence takes back his phone and taps a couple of buttons before nodding at me. Regardless, which one is your flight? The wolf shows me tomorrow's flight schedule, at which I point out one in the middle of them all. He continues to tap a few more buttons before pocketing his phone. All set. You're booked for the last flight tonight. Huh? Just like that? But what about the flight I booked? You won't need it anymore. Lawrence strokes his chin and then frowns. But I assume you lack any means of transportation to the airport. Yeah, I don't. I suspected such. Fortunately, I had anticipated this and arranged for the limo to be here. That is to say, I can have you sent to the airport so you desire. Are you sure? You've already done so much for me. I'm sure. Think nothing of it. Then that would be perfect. Thank you. I don't know what to say. He chuckles and clasps his paws together. Your flight will be in 5 hours, but I suggest we leave now, unless you have something to take care of. No, there's nothing left for me to do. I think I've done enough. Perfect. Pick up your belongings. I'll inform my chauffeur that we'll be down momentarily. Has Lawrence always been like this? Maybe he acts differently when he's alone versus when he's around Roe. It does feel a bit fishy, but I can't seem to figure out what ulterior motive he would have for warning me and helping me go home. Maybe he really is being genuine. I walk over and grab my suitcase and bag. All set. Most of my stuff is already packed. Splendid. Let's be on our way then. I check out of the hotel. Then we make our way down to the driveway in silence, with Lawrence leading us to a long black limo idling at the curb. After you. He walks over, opening the door for me, signaling me to step inside as he takes my things and heads to the trunk. I nervously inch myself inside, trying not to step on any of the fancy leather. Feel free to make yourself comfortable. Sure, I've never been in something like this before. He sits behind the driver's seat, positioning himself directly at me. The level starts to move, but I can barely see anything through the tinted windows. The wise quiet with the gray wolf occasionally balancing his attention between me and the phone in his lap. A sight escapes me as I realize I'll be heading back to my normal life. This is happening, huh? What's the matter, Theodore? Why the tears? I look up at Lawrence, and that's when I feel a sense of wetness on my cheeks. I let out an awkward laugh, surprised that I'm actually tearing up. It's nothing, I swear. It just feels strange to be leaving like this with how things ended up. I understand how you feel, but it's for the best. You wouldn't want to be trapped here for another week, do you? Especially when things are about to get chaotic. I'm getting the sense that Lawrence doesn't know how to handle situations like this with grace. I nod in agreement, although it's not like oh, he would know. Eh, but hey, me canine too, dogs. Yeah, babe. So you say, kind of like the Jews, Mormon group. Yeah, yeah. Jews. What's the matter, Theodore? Why the tears? Look up at Lawrence, and that's when I feel a sense of wetness on my cheeks. I let out an awkward laugh, surprised that I'm actually chewing up. It's nothing, I swear. It just feels strange to be leaving like this, with how things ended up. I understand how you feel, but it's for the best. You wouldn't want to be trapped here for another week, do you? Especially when things are about to get chaotic. I'm getting the sense that Lawrence doesn't know how to handle these situations like this with grace. I'm not in agreement, although it's not like I have much choice at this point. This whole vacation was a mess. Maybe it's a good thing that Lawrence showed up when he did. The car eventually stops after what felt like a long and drawn-out silent 30 minutes. We're here, finally, at last. We both exit. I see Lawrence's chauffeur, a small white tiger, slowly unloading my belongings. They notice me staring and give me a devious smile before returning inside. Here, take this. He extends a small black plastic card, which I carefully examine. Looks like some kind of membership club with the airlines. So this when you check in, you'll have no issues getting back home, especially when you're in first class. First class? As long as you honestly didn't have to, how much did that even cost? I don't have that kind of money that would pay you. Nonsense, you don't owe me a thing. I told you before, I'm doing this because I want to. The price isn't the issue here. It's just to ensure as long as you have a safe and comfortable flight back in first class was the only available spot left, but I digress. Thank you, I'm speechless right now. Despite what I thought of Lawrence, he isn't that bad of a guy after all. Though he wasn't like this before, I wonder what caused the sudden change of heart. Lawrence, if you don't mind me asking, when you talked with Javier earlier, what did you guys talk about specifically when you were over here? Nothing interesting, debriefing and reconnecting on the investigation. You know how these things go by now. Why, so how did you know I was trying to look for the snow leopard then? Ah yes, Javier told me about that afterwards, hence why I came looking for you. I nodded, a frown slowly formed again. Right. But didn't Javier mention his phone was broken or something? We both turned around to see Lawrence's chauffeur waving him over. I'd love to stay and chat, but as you know, airports demand promptness. I really must be going now. I can't afford to idle here for too long, even at this late hour. Safe travels, Theodore. It was a pleasure meeting you. The wolf gives me a light pat on the shoulder before slipping back inside the car. I watch the sleek black limo glides away, vanishing down the road. Slowly I turned around to face the familiar airport where I had arrived just a week ago. Well, I let out a sigh, feeling a whirlwind of emotions, but I managed to maintain my composure. Guess it's time to go home. Of all the places the survivor could be, it had to be the cliffs. One look at this miserable place, it is clear that why no one lives here anymore. I can see the shoreline not too far from where I am. Several of the apartments built along there have collapsed and crumbled into the ocean. It's more surprising than that anyone still lives here. Being here in person, I guess the rumors were true. How unfortunate. This fire certainly doesn't help add to the creepy atmosphere here either. I continue to tread down the dark, barren streets, carefully only stopping when I spot a particular landmark through the dense fog. Thankfully, the place I'm scouting is far enough from the store, so everything should be stable. The faster I wrap up this case, the faster I can visit Roe. Looks like I'm here. Grabbing the photo, in my pocket I compare it to the building in front of me. It's hard to make out the details, but the silhouette matches almost perfectly. No doubt about it. Get in and get out. I don't want to stay here for too long. I don't know how many squatters and crackheads are around. I take out my phone that I had thankfully fixed and turn on the voice memo. I just arrived at the cliffs. It's 6:04, and there doesn't appear to be any signs of people which I was suspecting. Making my way to the point of interest now, I turn around, my body on high alert at the sound. Instead of waiting for another sound, I dash across the street towards the apartment. Now that I'm closer, there are particular dark stains splattered across the entrance, with one of the glass doors completely shattered. This doesn't bode well. I step closer, just enough to spot the resident listing barely hanging on in the entranceway. All the names have been either crossed out or removed. Albert 1, HF 401. The inner entrance door has been bolted shut with several rusted chains wrapping the handles. Entrance barred off. We'll find another way inside. I'll slowly make my way out and walk the perimeter of the building, searching for any potential way in. Paranoid, I check my bed flipper again. There's still no readings. In fact, this is the lowest amount of activity I've ever measured. There's practically nothing happening around. I turn around and swear I spot a large dark figure disappearing around a corner. Despite how quiet and abandoned this neighborhood is, there are definitely still people living here. I better pick up the pace. Quietly, I grab the taser from my pocket and continue walking, picking up speed as I turn the corner. Eventually, I make my way to the back of the building and spot a set of rusted doors propped up with bricks. How wonderful. I try to calm my nerves, but it's hard with Rose not around in a place like this. Peering through the door, I aim my phone's flashlight inside, immediately cringing when I spot a long set of moldy stairs leading up to God knows where. Some sort of fire escape, huh? I bite the bullet, slowly traversing up the stairs, making sure to cover my nose along the way. I'm going to need to steam clean my entire body when I get back. The filth in here is revolting. Step by step, I trudge up the stairs, periodically stopping to catch my breath. After a few moments, I reach the fourth floor, immediately noticing the fourth floor hallway door seemingly broken and torn from its hinges. This is where HF is staying, the only person left in this apartment. I peek into the hallway. It's trash and dark, except for a few patches of working lights illuminating the mess. You gotta be kidding me. Just as I decide to walk down the hall, I stop in my tracks as I spot a door at the back slowly opening. I take cover, but notice a small old gray fox walking out with a cane, chuckling as he quietly hobbles over. Don't think I don't see you, dear. I step out and nod at the old lady, still gripping tight to the taser in my palm. Oh my, what's a handsome young man doing in a place like this? I'm looking for someone. Not me, I take it, because I haven't had visitors in ages. Now that she's in front of me, she looks extremely out of place with the rest of the place here. She doesn't have any burn marks on her legs, her arms, and looks nothing like the photo Lawrence gave me. Son, I think you got the wrong town. No one lives here except for me. No one at all? No one. Not even those apartments by the shore. Not the houses by the plantation. She continues to drone on, listing what I can only assume are places where people used to live nearby. And what about you then? What are you doing here, if I may ask? It's awfully quiet here, but that's what I like. She frowns and sighs. But I can't leave. I don't have anywhere else to go, so I stay here and look after mittens. Mittens? The fox doesn't elaborate. I can only assume she's talking about some kind of pet. She gives an eerie smile, too wide for her face, causing me to recoil in disgust. Oh, but where are my manners? My name is Helen. Javier. Her face lights up when she remembers something and nods. What a lovely name. You should know someone named Javier. Actually, there was someone I saw the other day. Did they have a burn mark on their arm? She tilts her head and ponders for a moment before nodding. Was it a burn mark? It could be. It was most certainly a scar. I nod slowly, trying to digest everything, holding myself back from asking her too much about her situation. She looks around and then motions me back to her place. Well, Javier, would you like to come inside? It'll be a much better place to talk than out here in the hall. Odyssey would notice me at the end of the hallway, step out, and invite me on such short notice, but I guess living alone in a place like this warrants some company. Okay, it was no bother for you. Nonsense. It's a bit messy, though, so I hope you don't mind. We stroll down the hallway. That's when I notice the doors to the other units are either battered and torn down or barricaded and barred shut. Just what happened here. There's a pungent scent of chemicals that instantly hits me as I enter the door and move into the living room. It has a scent unlike anything I've ever experienced before. Sorry about the scent. I had done some cleaning earlier. Mittens made a mess. Please make yourself at home. I seat myself on the old, tattered sofa and look around. Everything seems normal. This is strange when I think about how decayed the rest of the building is. There's a small, old-fashioned TV in the corner, covered in dust, the static masking whatever is playing underneath. I look back and see the old lady staring at me. Are you hungry? I have some biscuits in the fridge. I'm okay, thank you. What about some tea? That won't be necessary. I'm wondering if you could tell me more about the person you saw yesterday. Ah, yes, a person, odd-looking fella. They were scampering around outside. Don't tell me this was the person you were looking for. They are. And I'm sad to say they didn't stay here long. I saw them headed over to the... What was I supposed to say again? She scratches her head, mumbling something to herself as she blinks idly at me. Just give me just a second, Sonny. I need to take a look at something. She leans over to the back, disappearing behind a large door. That was odd. Now that it's silent, a faint hum drones in the background, causing me to search for the noise. Reflexively, I grabbed tightly onto my taser, still concealed in my pocket, scanning the room until I spotted the footage in the kitchen, the sources of noise. Huh? I stared at the rubbering machine, noticing a piece of paper with red markings and scratches on it. I get up, walking over to examine the note. Make up lies. Leave the fox on. Distract him. Payment will be made. Make up lies. Leave the fox on. Distract him. What is this supposed to mean? I'm about to take a photo of the paper when I hear a door slowly creak open. Expecting it to be the old lady, I jump when I see a pair of red eyes slowly form, watching me through the shadows behind a large black door. Ma'am? I stand there surprised, looking around the room, waiting for the old lady to return. I'll be right there. I've got to take my medication. Is there someone else staying with you? Oh, did you see Mittens? He's quite excited, but he means no harm. What the hell is Mittens? He's huge. Mittens? My voice is quiet as I stare at the shadow, trying to get a better view of Mittens. That was not the response I was expecting. Sensing that I might be in danger, my eyes dart between Mittens and the exit as I slowly back away. Ma'am, something came up and I'll be leaving now. I heard some unnatural shuffling in the back, causing me to hasten my steps. Leaving so soon? Just give me a second. I can give you some snacks before you leave. That won't be necessary, thank you. Just as I'm about to open the door, I spot another piece of paper with the same red scribbles lodged haphazardly in a knife whack. I look over and see the black door sliding open. A large barbaric feline glares me down. His fur is covered in stripes, scars, and stains, wearing nothing but some tattered shorts. Stay. He's definitely on something. You should listen to Mittens. He's very hard to control when he's angry. I turn to see the old lady next to Mittens, pointing some kind of object at me. I quickly snatch the paper and sprint out the door as fast as I can, sparing no time to look back at the freaks. I need to get out of here. I'm only a couple of steps out the door until there's a sudden jerk at my arm, causing me to stumble backwards and lay on my back. Stay. Mittens attempts to pick me up, his large paws nearly missing me, but I managed to jam my taser at their sin at the last second. Yeah. The beast loses balance, thankfully falling to the ground. I scrambled up and dashed towards the stairs, practically leaping down steps as I tried to escape only slowly when Mittens' stumps fade away. The fog is even denser now. I can barely see anything in front of me. Nearly out of breath, I push myself to sprint the rest of the way to my car, glancing back every second to see if I'm being followed. What the hell is wrong with those people? What the hell is going on? After what seems like an eternity of jogging, a sense of joy overwhelms me as I finally spot my car through the dense fog. I stumble and immediately lock the door to stare at the paper in my paw, completely out of breath. Deal with him if he gets suspicious. I crumple it and toss it aside, confused and terrified. Fuck, I need answers. Lawrence, what the hell's going on? Under breath, I fumble my phone and call Lawrence. The process never connects, it goes through, and I hear the line pick up. Lawrence, what the hell's going on? Who was that old lady, and what are these notes? You know something about this, don't you? And Penny as the line remains silent. Say something. I know you're there. The call disconnects, leaving me staring at my phone in confusion and anger. I try to call back, but the process refuses to establish a connection. What did that note say again? Something about dealing with a fox? Does this mean I've been set up? I ponder at the ramifications, and then suddenly my mind connects the dots. Speak easy. Owens told us to go there, and that's where the shooting occurred. He's always mentioned about getting info from the boss directly, but I wasn't able to contact him. Not to mention the glaring inconsistency in his urgency for me to find the survivor here. Damn it, Lawrence, what are you planning? My paws struggle to dial the office as the pain from the altercation slowly catches up with me, but after some strained effort I manage. The line rings for some time, but it eventually leads to a voicemail. It's still too early for anyone to be at work. I need to get away. I need to get away. I'm not safe here. My heart sinks when I suddenly remember Theodore. I have to warn him, and there's no telling what the hell Lawrence has planned. I reached to dial Theodore's proxy contact, but stopped, remembering his phone was destroyed. Carajo, I need to warn him. I run my paws frantically across my body, trying to calm myself down as I start the car with trembling paws. As I drive off, I swear I catch a glimpse of the abomination lurking in the fog through the rearview mirror. Leaping out of the elevator, my entire body sore from the earlier scuffle. The pain finally catches up to me. Until I can clear my suspicions of Lawrence, it's best to stay away from him for now. I shake my head, trying to clear my mind from what happened earlier. Since it's still early in the morning, there's a high chance Theodore is still in his room sleeping. Spotting room 2708. I knock as firmly as I can with my sore arms. Theodore, are you there? It's Javier. You need to listen to me. I suspect something is up with Lawrence. He's been acting extremely suspicious. It's only... The door slowly opens, revealing a barely awake Beaver peeking out the crack. Can I help you? Is this not Theodore's room? Theodore? There's no Theodore here, man. Confused, I double-check the room number before turning my attention back to the Beaver. It's definitely the right one. So I must have the wrong room. They yawned loudly and shut the door, leaving me scratching my head. Did Theodore already check out? But that could certainly be the case. His flight isn't until tomorrow morning. Unless something happened to him that caused him to check out early to leave. I need more information. Things are adding up. I waste no time walking back to the elevator and gain some insight by seeing when he checked out. It doesn't take long for me to extract the details from the front desk using some of the oldest tricks in the book. According to the staff, he checked out late last night, but was staying at room 6206. That wouldn't make any sense unless Theodore made a room change yesterday evening at the latest. Theodore must have had good reason to change to a new room, but I can only speculate. Maybe he thought he was in danger or being followed, but then why request a new room only to leave the same day, unless something serious happened to him? I might learn something from checking out room 6206 myself, or maybe I should go back and question that Beaver. Where could you have went, Theodore? Huh? I fish out my phone, and as if on cue, I see a new text from an unknown number. We have Theodore. Let's start the harbor. No funny business. 1 hour. Time is ticking. I scan around the room in a panic as my stomach drops as my mind races to process the best course of action. It's highly likely that whoever this is could be trying to lead me into some sort of trail. I could technically drive back and attempt to trace the car, but that's cutting it close on time. Especially if Theodore is actually in danger. This was the sort of thing I had warned him about, if only he'd listened to me. But the thought of abandoning Will and now Theodore fills me with overwhelming guilt. I shouldn't have been such a stickler. I tried to reply back, asking for more information, but the message fails to deliver. What to do? Shit. I have no choice. For once, I decided to follow my gut, setting aside my usual reliance on logic and rules, and head for the harbor. I can't believe I'm putting my life at risk here. Theodore, you better be okay. Let's start the harbor. This is where that chemical fire happened 2 years ago. I wanted that I would be here under these circumstances. I slowly pull up just outside the entrance, realizing I only have a few minutes left until the hour. I would have gotten here sooner if there wasn't a protest blocking the traffic. There's just enough time to prepare and scan the area with a bit flipper. Nothing. From the looks of it, the harbor appears inactive as the ports seem closed. Where is everyone? The clouds are gray. It looks like it's about to rain any minute now. I open the glove compartment and take out my emergency flare gun Dazzler and taser, which I stored inside my coat. The coast looks relatively clear, so I decided to turn back on my car and carefully drive inside the harbor. There's nobody in sight. In fact, there's not much here besides a few shipping containers, some warehouse buildings, and some construction cranes. It's quiet, too quiet. Take out my phone. I see another message from another unknown number. We see you. Drive inside building 3. There's a small warehouse straight ahead off in the distance with the loading gates open. I shake my head at the absurdity of the situation. There's no way I'm going inside there. I'm getting the hell out of here. There's no way this is a trap. Ah! Sharp popping sounds pierce the ear, followed by a crash of shattering glass behind me as I start to turn the car around. I duck the sound of gunfire ringing out as I try to make sense of everything. The shots continue to ring out, and I do my best to take cover. As a brief pause, I take this opportunity to steal a glance behind, noticing the rear window completely blown out. Panic surges as I wrestle with the steering wheel, but it's clogged. Was locked, the car barely responding. Said the tires are popped. I try to peer over my seat to identify the attacker, but the harbor is filled with too many potential hiding spots. I cower below the wheel, weighing my options as precious seconds pass. Waiting out the onslaught seems practical, but I don't know how long they'll keep firing for. I need to take my chance with the car and just go. I stop it again, feeling the car lunge forward as my head still below and unable to see properly. The car shakes violently and struggles to accelerate as I try to steer it away from the opposing building, but it remains unresponsive. Shit! I failed to brake in time, and the sudden force sends me forward as the car collides with a wall. My body jolts forward into the steering wheel, but miraculously I avoid any injury to myself. Disoriented, I struggle to turn off the car as I notice black noxious fumes slowly pour into the cracks of the dashboard. No, this is bad. I have no choice. I need to leave the car. I need to escape. There's a small alleyway just around the corner. I could probably run over if I'm fast enough. I need a distraction. I draw out the flare gun from my pockets, gripping it tightly as I realize this is my only attempt. In a split-second decision, I burst open the door and fire the flare in the direction of the gunfire, hoping to distract whoever's pursuing me and spread towards the alleyway. I feel my legs strain and ache after a few steps, already feeling exhausted and worn out. I try to push through, but the pain becomes unbearable, causing my legs to lock up. My lower body refuses to cooperate. Shit. I fall flat forward, my legs cramping up, already spent from the earlier encounter, my strength fading fast. Desperately, I painfully crawl around the corner and hide behind a wall. As I lean back, a sharp piercing pain shoots through my right arm, and I notice a large gas of blood seeping into my fur. Each breath is a struggle as I try to calm myself, my arms shaking with pain and fear at the sight of my own blood. No! I look down at the blood seeping from my arm. Following the trail with my eyes, I realize it leads all the way from my car to where I'm hiding. The sudden realization hits me my plan had been for nothing. I rummage through my pockets and, as a last resort, I call the police, praying they can trace my location. I carefully dial the number and toss my now bloody phone into a crevice, hoping it is enough to conceal it. At which pace, I press down on the injury, trying to slow the bleeding and give myself a chance to hide. Trying to control my sake, I slowly crawl along the edge of the building, but my arms start to give out. Shit, I can't escape without leaving a trail. I need to hide. I glance ahead, leaving for an exit, but realize I'm trapped. The dock ends abruptly above dark, churning water. Even though Road taught me to swim, I'm not sure I could stay afloat in my current situation. My options are grim. A few scattered shipping crates that offer some cover for poor hiding spots or a perilous plunge into the ocean. Desperation grips me as I hear my pursuer closing in. I muster every ounce of strength to stand, using the wall for support as I inch painfully across the building, stepping behind a crate. It's not long before I hear steps approaching around the corner. It's not long before I hear steps approaching around the corner. Well. The trial ends here. Why don't you come out, Javier? Let's have a little chat. That voice, it can't be. I know you're back here. You can't hide from Ruby. That bastard. I should have known all this time it was him. I can't peek to check, but he's almost definitely wearing those glasses now. I reach into my pocket and take out my bed flipper, frantically inputting commands with one paw. I only have one choice. Not behind that one, huh? Not this one either. Shit, he's getting closer. I can hear he's practically right behind me. There you are. I aim the bed flipper behind me, hoping to cause Lawrence's glasses to malfunction and seize up. What in there? I reach to my jacket and twist the limiter off the dazzler, tossing it over the crate as I shut my eyes. You wretch. I get up on an attempt to tase Lawrence, only to realize he's further back than I had originally thought. Shit, I miscalculated. Thankfully, he should still be blinded. I've only got a few more moments for that. I yell out as a sharp pain courses through me, the force pushing me to the ground. Shit, I've been shot in the hip. Got him. What's that voice? Another person? If only I could see from this angle. Good. Lawrence, what the hell's going on? Where's Theodore? I yell out, my voice echoing in the empty dark. Lawrence scowls back at me, his figure just as shadowy the silhouette from where I'm laying. Please, and here I thought you had it all figured out. His voice rips with sarcasm, sending a chill down my spine. I've never been working for ARC, not even for a second. As a tiger, who knows? I have to commend you, Javier. I was hoping sending you to the cliffs would throw you off my tracks, but I guess it's your fault for being so cunning, huh? I grit my teeth in anger, trying my best to manage the pain and my rising fury. What do you achieve from doing this? I don't need to tell you a thing, but since you're going to die, I might as well. Die? I panicked, attempted to get up, but the pain in my hip was too debilitating. I don't need to tell you a thing, but since you're going to die, I might as well. Die? I panicked, attempted to get up, but the pain in my hip was too debilitating. This is protocol. 2 months, but I like to call it payback for ruining my meeting with madness. He's over here. Good shot. Don't tell me you were the one to fire at roll 2. Me? No. It was thanks to my partner here, although I guess you can't see him with how pathetic you are laying on the ground. I hear someone else moving in the shadows, their presence a looming threat. Well, wasn't the main target. Blackout Chief Intel Officer was. Anyways, don't take this personally. It's just part of the job. Kairos, dispose of him. Thudding footsteps echo heavily behind me. Suddenly a powerful grip clamps down on my legs. No, let go of me. Help, someone please. His grip is unyielding, dragging me across the rough ground. Every movement sends sharp, intense pain through my shot leg. I try to resist. I break free, but it's useless as all the strength in my body is spent. You can't do this, Lawrence, please. Yes, I can. Good night, Javier. I feel myself being pulled to the edge. The sound of waves crashing below grows louder. My heart races, fear gripping my chest as the realization sets in. No, please. Kairos remains silent, his presence a shadow looming over me. When I find a ruthless heave, he throws me over the harbor's edge. I weightless, and then I plummet, the wind rushing past me, the ocean's roar deafening. The cold, turbulent water engulfs me, shock coursing through my body. I fight to stay afloat, but the pain in my leg and the weight of my clothes drag. The salt water burns my eyes and fills my mouth, making it impossible to breathe. This is the end for me. I thrust desperately. The surface growing further away, the light above dimming as the clouds darken. My vision blurs, the world fading into darkness. Lawrence, you traitor. My body grows weak. Yeah, I feel myself slowly descend further and further. The last thing I see is the surface far above, the first raindrops breaking through. Theodore, can you set the windows upstairs? There's a storm approaching. Okay. I stare out into the dark clouds and think back to my trip to TAI. I always get these thoughts whenever there's a storm, don't I? But this time, it feels a lot heavier. A deep sigh escapes me. How long has it been now? Almost a year now? Part of me feels like it never happened at all with how surreal it was. But I know it happened. I still have the scars and so forth. I still think about Ro from time to time. Usually it's about how he gave me a chance to prove myself or how down to earth and charming he was. But that always leads to dark thoughts. I ruined his life. Javier hates me. Everything went wrong. In the end, I can't believe I'm saying this, but it was Lawrence that was there for me. I want to, but it is what it is. There's always been something bothering me about that night, though. Lawrence. That night when he came to visit me, something just fell off. He was right about the riots and protests, and the news wouldn't stop talking about it for weeks, even here. But something just felt strange. But maybe that's because I felt so out of place in the first place. I don't know what this all meant, but like Lawrence said, it's probably best if I forgot it all. And I out of sight and sick my head, trying to hold back a tear. I guess you're right, Javier. I really am still just a kid. I have so much more to learn. So let's see, latest update of Raincheck. So we got the bad ending. So I think, well, what me I think, but about Javier, he should not have gotten angry with Theodore. I understand that there's things about Theodore that frustrates him, like his lack of experience, and sometimes he can be kind of naive, but he should not have lashed out at him. And because of that, that is what really led to him dying, really, in a way, because maybe if he still had, maybe he didn't lash out at Theodore, still had him around, to cooperate, to help him with the investigation, he'd probably still be alive, because Theodore would have been motivated enough to continue in this whole situation, to help Javier out and to, just do even more to help Ro out, to seek justice for Ro. But I think Javier lashing out at him and not wanting to talk to him is what caused Theodore to basically give up. Well, maybe not the sole cause, but it was a contributing factor because he tried to, in his final day in the city, he tried to get justice for Woe, but he was entirely alone. He's entirely alone. Javier wouldn't talk to him, and Woe's condition. And Monty, while he certainly did try to help, he was very limited in how much he could really help. Really, I mean, he's not an investigator or trained at all, and Theodore isn't either. So Theodore was all by himself, and I think because of him being alone and Javier not trying to help him, I think that's what made him decide to go home on time instead of deciding to stay longer. He just lost the motivation to continue because he didn't have any help. So that's my view. Now about Lawrence, I knew there was something up with him. Well, Ben figured out that there was something up with Lawrence. He couldn't figure out what it was, but he been suspicious of Lawrence, and he didn't hide it at all. And I mean, he would travel in a limousine. I mean, he's a private detective. I mean, why would he be in a limousine? Like, I mean, if he's rich or has connections, I think he would be. I don't think he would be a private detective. I think he would do other things, like what rich people or elite people would do. But I don't think he would be a private investigator, because he always displayed himself as being rich or wealthy. So I find that odd. So he wanted to get Theodore out of the way. He didn't send him on a plane for safety. He just wanted him out of the way so he couldn't interfere with him trying to kill Javier. And right before he made his partner throw Javier over the harbor into the ocean, he told Javier that he was never a part of ARC. Not even a moment. And that he and his partner were the ones who sought Woe. So all this time there was an illusion that Woe and Javier and what's his name again? The wolf. I forgot his name, but Lawrence. It was this illusion that all the three of them were like this team, and as it turned out, Lawrence was actually against them the whole time, pretending to be part of ARC when he wasn't. And him being able to go on vacations, him talking about going on vacations, that just kind of felt suspicious. I mean, I don't think he could just go on vacations like that so easily, but again, we know now why he could do that. I know that there's multiple endings for these routes, but as far as Javier's route is concerned, this is the worst route. I mean, this is the worst ending. I don't think there's a ending that could be any worse than this. I mean, Javier ends up, I think the only thing worse than this ending is if both Javier and Theodore dies. But anyway, besides that, this is about as bad as it gets. Javier dies, Theodore is back home with his mother. He has absolutely no idea that Javier is dead. He's totally unaware of the true person Lawrence is. He actually praises Lawrence, but unfortunately he'll never figure out that he's actually the one that's responsible for the entire predicament that they were in. You know, he was responsible for Ro being inside. He was the one responsible for suing him in the foot and the leg. I think he was starting the leg. You know, he was responsible for all that, with his pain for Ro being inside and having amnesia, and it was him. But because Theodore's gone now, he doesn't get to see Lawrence for the true person he really is. And Ro has no idea who he is, or who Theo is, or who Javier is, or anybody for that matter. He has amnesia, and since that last part with Theodore reminiscing about his time in the city was a year after the events of Raincheck, I can't help but wonder about Ro and how he's doing. I mean, I wish the VN could have covered Ro as well and see how he was doing instead of just not doing it at all. I wish it would cover Ro and whether he still has his memories of. Let's see if he at least starts to see if he at least might have recovered some of his memories. But I guess if they didn't decide to, if the game didn't bother to bring up Ro at all and how he's doing, then I guess in a way that tells you that he still has amnesia. He still doesn't know himself or Theodore or Javier or the place he works at or anything really, pretty much. And there's no point really in going back to Ro. So that's the first ending for Raincheck. There's still plenty more to go with all the endings for Javier. And then once everything's done with Javier, then the game will go to Ro, and there'll be a bunch of endings for him, I assume. So this new update also has a new side story, but it's about Javier. So I'll play that next in a separate video. See out here, extras. There's a little red dot. That means it's something new added in the extras. So you press extras and here's a little red dot here. Side stories. While helping Dust out, Javier lost a memento from his first investigation. So here's a second one here. The red dot means new. I'll play this on the next video. Okay, so that's all for now. Thank you all very much for watching. Goodbye.